that came out of this trade with Ajayi was the fact that it gave them that outside speed. Garrett Blount, we saw him run up the middle. He's a big, strong guy. But Ajayi's speed has really made a difference on this Eagles team.
Second down and 8 from the 22. And Foles surveying, under pressure, look out. And he throws that one away. Seems like a million years ago. We were there opening night in Foxborough. Remember how it started? Everybody thought New England did so much during the offseason. They might have a perfect season. That ended in 3 hours.
Yeah, that was pretty short-lived there. But this is a defense for the New England Patriots that has made tremendous strides. Gave up 32 points a game the first 4 games of the season, 300-yard passes the first 6, and yet they pieced it all back together, and now the pressure's on to find some answers here tonight.
Started 2-2 and counting postseason. They won 13 of their last 14. Only a Monday night loss at Miami, the only blemish. Third down and 8. Foles backing up, backing away, escaping, keeps his eyes downfield. The pass is incomplete at the 30-yard line. Intended for Ertz. The crowd wants a flag and don't get one, 4th down.
Yeah, I think that Nick Foles had a chance here. Let's take a look. It's man coverage, so everybody's chasing everybody here. He escapes. Look out to the right. Probably would have went for the first down.
So the first 3 and out. Donnie Jones, 14 years in the league. First time he's been in the Super Bowl. Play clock is down to 2. Both punters in this game left-footed. And that's fair caught at the 37-yard line by Danny Amendola. Early in the second, Eagles by 6.
Are we winning?
No.
It's just so small from back here. I can't really tell.
It's the Bud Night.
It's the Bud Night. We're saved. Yes.
Time to do what must be done. I did it.
Hey, Bud Night, aren't you gonna fight with us?
Oh, a buddy of mine is having this 30th birthday thing.
Ah, yeah, well, that's understandable.
Hey, if you survive, come by.
Probably won't happen, but you know,
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Watch this.
Oh, somebody likes attention.
Here's to the friends you can always count on.
Wake up early, grab on some cologne.
Just got a job as a lifeguard in Savannah.
Dropping 6 beats, they call me DJ Nana.
Don't get mad. Get E-Trade, kiddo.
In order to change, choose to accept it.
What the hell is he doing?
Find your best not to look at.
After the game, a historic episode of This Is Us. Set your DVR for extra time. The game could run long, and you don't want to miss an act. This Is Us, tonight on NBC.
The Eagle D are the first team since the 02 Buccaneers to reach the Super Bowl after allowing fewer than 10 points per game in the playoffs. Those are the 2002 Buccaneers coached by John Gruden, who went to Tampa Bay that year and turned around and beat his old team, Oakland, in the Super Bowl in San Diego.
then went back.
Yes, he did.
His dad went back to
He's back.
Yeah.
Deion Lewis is the running back. This drive starts from the 37-yard line. Brady stepping up. Deep backfield, wide open. Brandon Cooks. And he gets smacked down at the 40-yard line, taking some shot there by Jenkins, who is spinning around, and he is down after a 23-yard gain.
This is this route here coming back out. But as he came out and caught the ball, a little disoriented, turned around, looped back around, and never saw Malcolm Jenkins. And definitely was a little helmet-to-helmet on that hit. And, of course, Rob Gronkowski.
That's
coming off the concussion.
Puts Grady on the ground. Never saw him coming. Injury timeout.
I'm going to start with some balayage clippings, then razor cut up to a blunt angled lob on your dead right back. It's going to be everything.
What?
He's going to make your hair long, then cut it short to make it big.
Oh, okay.
What's the strong name?
It's a pea protein gluten-free pate.
It's a burrito filled with plants pretending to be meat.
Last night took an L, but tonight I bounce back.
What's an L?
The rap singer took a loss,
And now he's okay.
right?
Living large.
Little with his mama.
Likes long walks.
Doesn't have a car.
Entrepreneur?
Unemployed.
Oh! Yeah, you can get a mortgage that avoids PMI, but there's no way to avoid MIP on an FHA. Hey!
This will help. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans makes the complex simple.
Right.
Understand the details and get approved in as few as 8 minutes.
There's also origination fees and escrow accounts.
This takes care of it. Thank you. Rocket Mortgage, America's largest mortgage lender. It's just a great doc.
Well, we did it. We sealed the bad out and kept the good in. We have everything we ever wanted.
We have all these avocados from Mexico, but where are the chips?
The chips are outside.
The chips are outside!
You must be fine, Lisa. Project fine, Lisa. Yeah.
Possible earthquake in the Statue of Liberty.
So you probably leave it at home a little bit early.
What are you doing? Stop.
So Brandon Cooks got up. They have walked him back into the locker room. If it looked like helmet to helmet, he was not a receiver at that point. He caught the ball and it turned into a runner, so he's no longer defenseless, but he never saw Jenkins.
Right, so it's a no foul. And on the other end, Brady took a shot, but not with the ground helmet, so no foul there either.
Yeah, Brady was banked over a little bit during the commercial break. First down and 10, Baton, none the worse for where he throws. Almost picked there by Malcolm Jenkins, intended for James White. Second down and 10.
Boy, this was a bit of a surprise for me that Malcolm Jenkins is coming out and playing man-to-man on James White. Well, he caught 14 passes in the last Super Bowl. Maybe it shouldn't be a surprise. But I think most people anticipated that Jenkins was going to be on Gronkowski. But so far, that matchup is working in the Eagles' favor.
Meanwhile, McDaniels and company have to wonder about Cooks, the number 2 receiver. They have only 4 wideouts dressed for the game. He's one of them. And through the middle, nice gain there. Helmet flying. Deion Lewis picks up about 5. You take a look at Brady to Cooks. He was the deep threat. Picked him up in a trade with New Orleans. More than 20 yards downfield, 16 completions. Brady's most by one teammate in a season.
Yeah, the next closest, to give you some perspective, was Randy Moss in that unbelievable year he had. He did not match that number of Cooks.
Philip Dorsett will take his spot. Puts his spot, number 13. Meanwhile, third down and 5 here. And now you got to flip back here to Danny. And he throws, and it's Brady, you can't hold it in. So Brady was free, looks over his shoulder, trickery and deceit, 4th down.
Oh! Shotgunner, this play is not legal. It obviously is. Tom Brady is just going to hand off and then ignore. He's not doing anything, and there he goes. And immediately, Chris Long knew he was in trouble, and Brady with the bad hand and no tape. You wonder if maybe that had a little something to do with why he didn't want that pad on that hand. They had that play in the back of their mind.
You do. So it's 4th down and 5. A go for it from the 35-yard line. And Brady down the sideline, and that's incomplete. Gronkowski, the intended receiver. Jalen Mills covering on the play, and Philadelphia will take over. 11:53 to the half, 9-3. Philly.
Twisted mango. Because that's why. Can't help it. Maybe slowing it down. Maybe it's very sexy. I don't know. Mango dance.
A road is a wonderful thing. It makes it easier for you to get from point A to point B. But ultimately, the road is someone else's idea. The road always ends. And this is where some of our best stories begin.
Hello again, ladies. Is your man the kind of man who would climb the height? I'm in a tight end. Nice pants. Get off my horse.
Ta-da.
Stay tuned for music's biggest moment of the year, the Pepsi Super Bowl 52 halftime show, featuring global superstar Justin Timberlake.
What's really interesting here, Malcolm Butler, hero 3 years ago in the Super Bowl, has not played a defensive snap tonight. The Patriots are telling us a coach's decision. Of course, it was easier to get information out of East Germany before the wall went down than to get injury information from New England. But Butler has not played a defensive snap yet. Eric Rowe has taken his spot. Here's a giant. It's wrapped up 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. This was during America the Beautiful. Butler was very emotional on the sideline. Can't guess what this was about, but he's played on special teams tonight, but not on defense.
Well, it was a beautiful rendition, so you never know, right? But you have to think that maybe he was hurting a bit, and you just wonder when it was that he got the news, or maybe it was just a reaction to it, maybe it wasn't any of the above.
Final year of his contract, but for a while as if he would be sent to the Saints in the offseason. Didn't happen. Here's a jockey trying to break tackles, which he does with regularity, and turns nothing into a little something up to the 38-yard line. Devin McCourty makes the tackle. 3rd down and 7.
I'll tell you, this Jay Ajayi runs that lead draw about as well as anybody. They end up pulling Lane Johnson around, one of the most athletic guys, and blocking him in there. But so far, this 5-man line of the New England Patriots has been doing pretty well, at least in the last couple of series now, in shutting down that run.
Ajayi averaging 3 yards per tote. 3rd down and 7 now from the 38-yard line. Falls over the middle and wide open, and into Patriot territory goes Zach Ertz, the tight end. in a 19.
Yeah, I think Zach Ertz took a little page out of Gronk's book here. Going to go down the field, a little bit physical, and then make the break. A little bit of a contact, not enough for a flag. I think that was the proper call there, a little juke. I tell you, if there's one guy that could be an explosive element of this game, Zach Ertz.
He's like Julie. If you follow soccer, you know she's a key member of that U.S. women's team. From the 43-yard line. Bowles keeps it and then didn't have a grip on it. It looks like Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver, will be second down and 10.
You got to work to overthrow Alshon Jeffrey. And sometimes it's interesting. I wonder if it happened to Nick there that sometimes those running backs don't know if they're getting the ball or not, and they can tend to grab at it a little bit. Maybe it jostled it just a bit before that throw.
Looked like he didn't have a good grip on it, so it's second down and 10. U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis on this Superbowl Sunday night. Second down, 10 from the 43-yard line. Pressure coming, and that pass intended for Jeffrey at the 21-yard line. Great catch. Over the shoulder. Along the sideline. Threw it over Stephon Gilmore. Once again at 22, first down.
Yeah, watch this late adjustment to the ball here. And Al, I'm a little surprised. Chung that time ended up being on Alshon Jeffrey, and we all anticipated that Stephon Gilmore was going to be the matchup. Gilmore all season long has taken the bigger of the receivers, and yet for whatever reason, they're not matching him against Jeffrey in this one. He already has one long touchdown, big play there.
2 touchdowns in the championship game against Minnesota. Blunt is in the backfield. With Garrett Blunt slings to the outside, inside the 10, Blunt to the end zone. Behind a 7th block. His 11th career postseason TD.
Most athletic center in football, watch him get out in front of this play. Not only gets the initial cutoff, which you have to have on those outside zones, stays with it. One more push down the field, gets a Landon Roberts out of the way, and there you go. For LeGarrette Blunt, how sweet is this payback? Now they're going to go for 2.
Right. After missing the extra point, that makes the difference. Trying to make it 17-3 instead of 16. Eagles go for it a lot, 6 of 9 for 2-point conversions, both most attempts and conversions in the league. So from the 2-yard line, now they send 4 receivers out to the right side. Whole bunch there. Naturally, you go to the left, and it's Jeffrey, and you can't make the catch. That's Eric Rowe able to bust it up. 8:48 to go. First half. Now 15-3, Philadelphia.
That's how we do it on the farm.
Barbecue Pringles? Pizza Pringles.
You made barbecue pizza.
Wow.
Wow. I had a jalapeno. Spicy barbecue pizza. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, you can stand different flavors?
Nobody asked you, Kevin!
Sad flavors, make new ones.
I'm Dave, and my bleep don't stink.
Well, for a boy whose bleep don't stink, Dave turned out to be a very well-adjusted adult.
Good kid. What do you go still?
Well, we first noticed it at his first birthday. Nothing.
I miss Dave.
My friend, her son's a lawyer, but my son, his bleep don't stink, so...
That's better than for a lawyer.
Huh. Mom, what is Blue Breeze?
Hey, did you ever hear from Michelob Ultra?
I got it.
So I'm training for this big role. Doc, Michelob Ultra commercial.
I'm the spokesman. I'm Captain Michelob.
I like beer! So sorry.
This is yours, and relax. You gotta be fit. You gotta love Michelob Ultra. It's not like anyone else could do this.
Dave,
Pardon?
what is your name?
Chris Pratt?
Over there, bud. Thanks.
Super Bowl 52 on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Ram 1500, built to serve. By Budweiser, bring the Clydesdales to your party. Search hashtag ClydesdaleCan. By Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson, in theaters July 13th. And by Coca-Cola, taste the feeling.
Some of the Super Bowl rings, most NFL championships.
1500, built to serve. By Budweiser, bring the Clydesdales to your party. Search hashtag ClydesdaleCan. By Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson, in theaters July 13th. And by Coca-Cola, taste the feeling.
Some of the Super Bowl rings, most NFL championships. Quarterback head coach duo Brady and Belichick have won 5. You back to Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi, and this includes the pre-Super Bowl era when they played for the NFL championship. They had 5. Elliott to kick off. Eagles up by a dozen, and Lewis will down it in the end zone. You can visit NFLShop.com after the game for the largest selection of Super Bowl 52 championship gear at the official store of the NFL, NFLShop.com. Well, you recognize J-Lo and A-Rod taking in the action. Mike Trout, the great California Angel, huge Eagle fan, goes to all their games. There he is. You know you're a fan when you're standing up the whole game.
Love it.
From the 25-yard line, the back is Burkhead. Double fake, and then Burkhead makes the catch, and Rex Burkhead gets 3. Has a block from Amendola out the front, but getting him from behind is Corey Graham. So they put Burkhead in the game, and right off the bat, he's good for 47.
A lot of pressure around Tom Brady, but just enough distraction. Just as that defense thought they were going to get number 12, he flips it out, and another big play down the field.
29, off play action. Brady under pressure, and the wobbly pass is incomplete. You know, it was Burkhead, as we take a look at the replay. It was Burkhead who makes the catch here. He was the guy that collided with Brady 17 days ago, which caused the massive cut. We asked Brady about that the other day. We said, what was your first thought? He said, my season is over.
And Burkhead probably thought his career was over.
Right. Second down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Damian and Dola, and he'll get stuffed before he can get untracked. Making it third down and 8.
Now, they've worked this play a couple of times, and they whistled it right past the ear hole of Vinnie Curry twice. He might end up intercepting one. You can see Brady didn't have the laces. That is the second one he has barely missed. They are trying to slow down this pass rush. These hits are starting to pile up just a bit on Tom Brady.
But 5 wide initially. Now White comes into the backfield. Third and 8. Amendola comes into the backfield. And that pass goes nowhere. So a lot of action, a lot of movement. Nothing. 4th and 8.
I mean, these are screen passes that they can't get off. Chris Long comes flying around the end there, and for Josh McDaniels, he has to think, well, I knew these guys were going to be pretty good coming after my quarterback, but I didn't think it'd get to the point where we couldn't run a screen pass. There he was, making the play on the outside against James White, had to throw it away.
Now 45-yard attempt. Skowski. This time the snap is good, hold is perfect, and the kick is likewise. Halfway through the second quarter, it's Philadelphia 15, New England 6 in Super Bowl 52.
Start with a gorgeous sunrise. Mornings are fun. Hey, look, toast. People still eat that, right? Oh, and there's Mom doing everything she can to get her kids to school. It's like they're talking directly to me.
You know a sales pitch when you see it, and we all insult your intelligence.
Look, when you wake up and you turn on your phone, you have 100 voices telling you what happened.
But how many are telling you why?
Start your day asking the right question with Morning Rush. In every check.
Tom Brady going over things with McDaniels, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Brandon Cooks, the Patriots wide receiver who took that hard hit from Malcolm Jenkins, went back to the locker room. Al, he will not return. They are calling it a head injury. They haven't called it a concussion, just a head injury. Back in the locker room, will not return, Al.
So they're down to 3 wide receivers, Michelle. You know, Chris, we were talking about how New England's season started, but they rebounded. You look at Philadelphia's season. I mean, they were 7-9 last year. They started out the house on fire. They were number one in a lot of the power polls until they went to Los Angeles and lost Carson Wentz in December.
Yeah, and to be fair, we saw a couple of good games out of Nick Foles, and then at the end of the season, 2 very poor games. And then it was Doug Peterson and Frank Reich, both of whom had been backup quarterbacks for extended periods of their careers, going back, having that extra week, and taking a good long look at what it was that Nick Foles did in 2013 with Chip Kelly that was so successful. They incorporated some of that, and then by the time the playoffs started, he was rolling.
So Frank Reich, all through 2 of the greatest comebacks in football history, one in college, Maryland, and of course, one with the Buffalo Bills against the then Houston Oilers.
A little surprised he didn't get some action in the head coaching derby.
Sooner or later. Gostkowski's kick is taking 2 yards into the end zone. So let's look at the quarterbacks to this point in the game. 143 yards off the hand of Foles and 191 already for Tom Brady.
You know what's the most bizarre stat not shown there? Maybe the biggest play, 1 drop by Tom Brady.
By Brady.
Go figure.
So the pass from Amendola. Brian Hoyer, his backup quarterback, going over the tablet with him. So here's Foles. Almost quit after he was released by the Rams, went on a camping trip with his brother-in-law, and said when he was going to come back, there's only one guy he was going to play for, Andy Reid. And Reid brought him to Kansas City last year, backed up Alex Smith. From the 25-yard line. And you got movement, Burt's second time for him.
Number 86, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, he took him from the 2-yard line to the 7-yard line on the other full start.
Yeah, that one took probably 4 points off the board there with that one. But believe me, Zach Ertz and these inside receivers, I keep thinking this is going to be an inside game throwing the ball. The other one, Nelson Aguilar, inside as well.
First and 15, Clement picks up 1. Clement getting an opportunity to play a lot this season when they lost Darren Sproles to a season-ending injury in week 3, undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin. He's done a great job.
Well, I don't know how many times we've done this with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but James Harrison, you want somebody to set the edge on your defense, and of course that's the very fundamental part of Bill Belichick's defenses. Who better than that guy? He is a hammer. You'll see him lift weights sometime.
Second and 14. Harrison, 39 years old, and says he's still playing next year. Foles gets it away. Caught. It's Torrey Smith. Spins his way up to the 31-yard line. Tackled there by Gilmore. And makes it 3rd down and 3.
I love what Nick Foles is doing. Sees the blitz, throw it right behind it. If you see the blitz coming, just throw it right over his head. There he is. Nice pickup. Nick Foles is seeing the field.
3rd down call at 4. 6 minutes to go in the opening half. Johnny on an inside handoff. Look at him go. Jay Johnny to the 40-yard line. Knee goes down there. Tons of yardage. He and Blunt both. Massive amounts of yardage after contact. Case in point there.
3rd and 4. How many times do you see? Here's Wisniewski right here, but also on the outside we had Nelson Aguilar with a great block. But how many times, Al, have we seen this year Doug Peterson on 3rd and 4? It's a pass down for everybody in the league. Pick up big plays running the football like you just did.
He's got those 2 backs. From the 44 on 1st down, Foles going deep down the sideline, and it is shuttled and intercepted by Harmon at the 3-yard line. Jeffrey couldn't handle it, and New England gets the takeaway on a deflection into the arms of Harmon. First turnover of the game. He couldn't one-hand it. New England has the ball.
Just rather you kick and you never will be. The power to do anything you imagine is within you when you discover your real self.
If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. By giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. You don't have to know about Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know the theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace. Soul generated by love.
Two college roommates from South Carolina going at it on that last play. Stephon Gilmore finally got his shot against Alshon Jeffrey. Good coverage, but Jeffrey really is the one that's going to flip it back to the middle of the field to Deron Harmon, who led this team with 4 interceptions. Career high for him, but watch the tail end of this. Got it maybe, and then just flips it back to the middle of the field, and Harmon said, "Thank you very much." Exactly what the Patriots needed.
They start this drive from their own 10-yard line. Lewis is the running back. That one the fullback, and he gets crunched after a 4 by Kendricks, and we got a Michelle.
Well, I spoke with both Alshon Jeffrey and Stephon Gilmore before the game. You know, Jeffrey was Gilmore's a groomsman in his wedding. They each talked about the fun they had in college competing. But this is their first meeting as pros, and Jeffrey told me their battle tonight would be a good one, but he said it's been a long time since college, and I'm pretty sure he got better just like I got better, Al.
No question, Jeffrey already off to a good start with a touchdown and 3 catches for 73. Second down now and 6 from the 14-yard line. Brady over the middle, and that's dropped at the 19-yard line. Incomplete. Gronkowski could not handle it. Gronkowski's caught 1 tonight for 9 yards. That's it.
Yeah, this has been a little bit of an unusual game, and I think that right now the Patriots have to reconsider a little bit what they're doing. Gronkowski needs more, and I think these backs need a little more action coming out of the backfield. James White's going to come out wide, but once again, Malcolm Jenkins on him. Maybe not quite the matchup that Brady liked with Jenkins.
3rd and 6. Fired. That's incomplete. Flag comes in, though. Chris Hogan with Jalen Mills on the coverage. First flag on a pass play.
Prior to the pass, holding
Defense, number 31. Popular penalty, automatic. First off.
Here's the matchup right inside there, going across. Let's take a look and see if Mills hooks that hip and turns him. That's what they're going to call, I believe.
There's the hold.
Yeah, well, it's a chokehold, wasn't it?
It was. And it's a first down after a 3rd and 6. Now scooting up to the 25-yard line goes Dion Lewis. It was the leading rusher this year with 896 yards. 2nd and 5.
Well, we've talked about him before, but Fletcher Cox, just one of the real stars in the National Football League. And the thing, Al, that I appreciate more than anything about him, he's not just a pass rusher. That guy has a way of finding the ball carrier, devastating initial punch, and then finds the ball carrier.
To the outside, picking up the first down, up to the 32 goes Dion Lewis. Devlin with a block. Yeah, there's a reason why Cox is the highest paid guy on the team. You don't see that very often for an interior defensive lineman.
Yeah, we've got a few good ones around the league. Aaron Donald named the Defensive Player of the Year, right? And this guy is pretty much right there behind him. We haven't seen a ton from Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham is the leading sacker on this team and a guy that gets a lot of pressure as well. This defensive line now, these are some of the moments they need to win the battle.
Graham had 9 sacks during the regular season, but there he was on the sideline. First down now. Play clock at 1. Brady with good protection, throws into traffic, and that's incomplete. Well covered. Rodney McLeod on Gronkowski to make it 2nd down and 10.
Interesting. That was sort of a bang-bang play right at the top end of that route. Let's watch McLeod come down. I think they're going to say he's going for the ball. There have been a few like that. It is always so difficult. They are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt, not in the Super Bowl.
White is the back on 2nd and 10. He stays in the block. Brady going deep down the right side. Michael Hogan rolls it in at the 25-yard line. Got past Jalen Mills. Another big play for Hogan.
Anytime the Patriots want to go down the field, they're going to chip with these guys on the outside to buy Brady